Welcome back. Today's discussion is one of those rare moments where you really cannot afford to skip a single second. I'm not exaggerating when I say that every part of this story connects like threads in a web, and if you blink for too long, you might miss the bigger picture. This isn't just another market update, and it's not just speculation. What we're unpacking today is a major shift in narrative, adoption, and momentum surrounding one of the most talked about projects in the crypto space right now, Kaspa. And the twist? It begins with a legendary figure from the early days of Bitcoin waking up from years of silence. So let's dive in, and remember, stay locked in until the end, because the real secret of this entire story only makes sense when you've heard the full picture. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in crypto. The first piece of breaking news is something that has caught the attention of everyone in the crypto community. Nick Szabo, yes, that Nick Szabo, the legendary researcher from the Satoshi era, has resurfaced after more than 4 years of complete silence. For context, Szabo is one of the most respected names in crypto history, often associated with the early building blocks that inspired Bitcoin itself. But here's the part that shocked the entire community. Szabo did not come back to tweet about Bitcoin. He did not return to comment on Ethereum, smart contracts, or mainstream narratives. Instead, his very first move was to ask technical questions about Kaspa's BlockDAG design, specifically around nodes and network performance. According to reports from the community, Jonathan Sampolinski, one of Kaspa's co-founders and one of the main minds behind the project, directly responded, pointing people toward the upcoming DAG Night protocol for more clarity. Think about this for a second. When was the last time a Bitcoin-era OG, someone with that level of credibility, emerged from hibernation just to geek out about an altcoin's technical foundations? That doesn't happen often, and it tells you something about where the real innovation might be happening. Naturally, the next question that most of you have is, okay, but what does this mean for my portfolio? This is where Luke Koval, also known as Luigi in the Kaspa community, comes into play. Koval has publicly stated that he believes Kaspa can reach between 50 cents and $1 within 2025. His logic is simple. To achieve this, Kaspa would need to push its market capitalization from around $2 billion to approximately $15 billion. That might sound like a massive jump, but when you compare it to what other projects with far weaker fundamentals have achieved, it doesn't seem like a stretch. If the right catalysts hit at the right time, whether that's exchange listings, institutional mining support, or macro-driven inflows, the move could happen very quickly. Of course, no one can promise a moon mission, but think critically about this. Is a $15 billion market cap really unrealistic for a project that is delivering actual working technology? When adoption continues to rise and utility becomes undeniable, these kinds of targets don't feel impossible. So let me throw the question back to you. Do you think that projection is too optimistic, or is it right on the money? One of the biggest arguments in favor of Kaspa isn't just speculation or predictions, it's the on-chain data. Kaspa Daily recently reported that after the launch of Layer 2 integrations, network activity has absolutely surged. Active addresses have climbed to nearly 250K, while the total number of transactions has smashed through an all-time record of almost 60 million. That's not hype. That's real usage. And usage is exactly what separates projects that last from projects that fade into obscurity. Charts and market sentiment can change daily, but when people are actively using a blockchain for real transactions, that tells a completely different story. When you see numbers like these, you're not just looking at speculative trading anymore. You're looking at genuine utility, and that utility creates demand, resilience, and long-term survival. Or is the part that honestly made me laugh this week. A critic tried to throw shade at Kaspa, saying that its network was only transferring about $16.50 worth of value per second. The implication was that Kaspa wasn't moving real money. But this is where a little math changes everything. Crypto Bandits, a respected community account, broke down what that actually means in context. Kaspa processes 17K transactions per second. Now, if each second is generating roughly $16.50 for miners, multiply that by the number of seconds in a day, 86,400. The result? Kaspa miners are being rewarded approximately $1,425,600 every single day. Stretch that to a week, and you're looking at nearly $10 million in miner payouts. Does that sound like a meme coin to you? Of course not. That's not the behavior of a hollow hype token. That's the economics of a network with real throughput, real incentives, and real adoption. Numbers don't lie. On September 28th, Kaspa Hub reported a new network record, 4,757 transactions per second on mainnet. And this isn't just a high score within the world of proof-of-work chains. According to Kaspa Hub, this number actually surpasses the transaction speeds of several leading proof-of-stake blockchains like Solana, XRP, and BNB. That's huge. Proof-of-work has traditionally been criticized as slow and inefficient compared to proof-of-stake designs. But Kaspa's BlockDAG structure is proving that the gap is closing, if not flipping. Think about the implications here. A proof-of-work network that is faster than many POS competitors not only challenges old assumptions, but also shows that decentralization and scalability can coexist. Some in the community have gone as far as to suggest that this kind of infrastructure could support the economy of an entire continent. Imagine if South America, plagued by hyperinflation and debt crises, adopted a Kaspa-backed financial standard. While that might sound ambitious, when you look at what the network is already achieving, the idea doesn't feel completely far-fetched. Kaspa Daily also revealed a very telling statistic. 61% of the total supply has not moved in over 6 months. Think about what that means. More than half of all Kaspa tokens are sitting in wallets untouched, held by people who clearly have conviction in the long-term future of this project. This isn't the behavior of day traders chasing a quick pump. This is the behavior of investors who have done their research, made their bets, and are willing to sit tight. On-chain conviction of this magnitude sends a signal that charts alone cannot. It shows that the community is not only growing, but also committed to holding through volatility. Does this kind of conviction mean we're sitting on a powder keg, waiting for the next big breakout? That's for you to decide. But the data certainly suggests that long-term holders believe something much bigger is coming. Analyst Skibum Trading has noted that Kaspa's fundamentals are so strong that even cypherpunks and some open-minded Bitcoin maximalists are engaging with the project. And when that crowd starts paying attention, you know something is different. Beyond that, top-tier exchanges, large mining operations like Marathon Digital, and venture capital funds are all reportedly watching Kaspa closely. But here's the reality check. Price action is not a straight line upward. After being one of the top-performing assets globally in 2022 and 2023, Kaspa is now in what looks like a textbook accumulation phase. Zoom out on the chart, and you'll see higher lows forming, signaling consolidation after a massive run. Healthy markets breathe. They rally, they pull back, they accumulate, and then they expand again. That's exactly what appears to be happening here. The real question is, are you accumulating during this phase, or are you waiting on the sidelines? History has shown us which of those strategies usually ages better. Now let's turn to the technical picture, because I know a lot of you are here for price action. Right now, Kaspa is trading around 7.7 cents, showing signs of stabilization after recent selling pressure. Earlier this month, the price reached a peak of roughly 9.6 cents before entering a gradual downtrend marked by lower highs. Key support sits in the 7.2 cents to 7.3 cents range, a zone where buyers have repeatedly stepped in. On the flip side, short-term resistance is around 8.0 cents to 8.2 cents. If bulls can break and hold above that ceiling, the door opens for a run toward the 8.4 cents to 8.6 cents zone, which was tested earlier this month. Momentum indicators are beginning to turn constructive. The Relative Strength Index, RSI, across multiple timeframes is climbing out of oversold territory, currently in the 46 to 58 range. That suggests the market is neutral, but leaning slightly bullish. Derivatives data shows open interest holding near $520 million, with shorts and longs relatively balanced. This reduces the risk of a sudden downside cascade and actually leaves room for a short-term bounce. The short-term outlook comes down to whether Kaspa can defend the 75 cents to 7.7 floor and break through the 8 cents barrier. If it does, a stronger recovery could follow. If not, another test of the 7.2 cents level is possible. Here's my honest take. We're looking at a project that isn't just relying on hype or memes. Kaspa has legitimate technological advantages, visible network growth, rising institutional interest, and a community of holders that clearly believe in the vision. The price may be consolidating, but the fundamentals suggest we are in an accumulation stage before something much larger. How'd Kaspa hit $1 this year? If adoption continues at this pace and the broader market environment supports it, I think it's entirely possible. But even if it doesn't happen immediately, Kaspa is proving itself as one of the few projects with real technology and measurable progress in an industry that often overpromises and underdelivers. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, manage your risks, and always trade responsibly. Let's recap what we covered today. Nick Szabo returned after years of silence and chose to ask technical questions about Kaspa. Luke Koval predicts Kaspa could reach 50 cents to $1 in 2025 if market cap expands to $15 billion. On-chain adoption is growing, with 250K active addresses and 60 million transactions. The network processes 17K TPS, paying miners $1.4 million daily, about $10 million weekly. Kaspa set a record with 4,057 TPS on mainnet, outpacing some leading POS chains. 61% of supply hasn't moved in 6 months, showing strong holder conviction. Institutions, miners, and exchanges are watching, while charts show accumulation patterns. Price sits near 7.7 cents with key support at 7.2 cents to 7.3 cents and resistance at 8.0 cents to 8.2 cents. Overall, Kaspa shows strong potential, though patience and timing remain crucial. Thanks for watching. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe if you want more real-time updates, moves, market trends, and hidden gems.